yet. We've had a few days of exposure.
The thing about Inishlacken is it's out in the bay. It's surrounded, so 3/4 of the horizon is hills and mountains all around it at a distance, and then out to the south the huge expanses of the Atlantic and the Aran Islands in the distance. So it's an absolutely wonderful panorama. It's changing dramatically all the time because of these fleeting cloudy Connemara skies. So it's never the same for 2 seconds. And it does look astonishingly like some Paul Henry paintings sometimes. The colours from the purple of the far mountains and the gold when the sun strikes across the low peninsulas and boglands. But it's as if nature is knocking out Paul Henry's by sort of 3 a minute. It's no time at all. And I can see how the island lends itself to doing Gerard Dillion style paintings, because the essence of Gerard Dillion's style is that the canvas is broken up into little nests, little cells. It's a very cellular style of painting. And in one of his best known pictures of his time in Inishlacken, there's a little paddock, a little grassy field with a donkey in it and so on, and there's a little sheltering wall and a doorway with men half leaning against it or hidden there. There's a little cottage sort of sunk in a little fold of the terrain. It's all like eggs in nests. It's in a way, it's a vision with a certain amount of truth in it and a certain amount of rampant nostalgia and idealization in it, but it's a consistent artistic form.
What they did was inadvertently created a 20th century archive of visual arts in response to an island in its very last days as a community. And what we've done is now the community aren't here anymore, and we have created a 21st century archive in response to a place that has so many layers of metaphor, of existence, of metaphor of the island of Ireland, metaphor for all our lives.
I wrote a chapter on the island it's when I was writing the first volume of my trilogy on Connemara. Yes, I'd written about Inishlacken as an island in the summer, and then I wrote about Inishni, which is just over here, over the bay from us here in Ranson, and I wrote about that in winter. So all the sort of joyous, happy, bright, coloured aspects of life on the island and its rebirth and the rebirth of life on the island thanks to Rosie.
Rosie asked Michael Gibbons, the archaeologist, to take a tour of the island and tell us all about the history. So it not only brought us together, it made us feel that this was something very unusual because of the history of the island and the fact that everyone had left but could still see their old homes from the mainland, which was terribly unusual. The other islands are far off the coast that have been emptied, like Inishlacken and so on. Dolores Lynn, I think, introduced me to Rosie, and then Rosie asked if she could come and do what we called a residency at that time in a gallery that 5 of us from Clifton Claddaduff, Letterfrack area were running in the Station House complex. And she came and worked on a huge wall painting in the gallery, but she would sort of babysit the gallery while working, and then at the end of that we gave her an exhibition, and we had lots of fun. And I came to know Rosie quite well, and we've shared exhibitions over the years and done a lot of things together, and then she kindly invited me out in 2006, she was saying, to Inishlacken, and it was a revelation. It really was. It was the year that Tim Robinson came and read from his first Connemara book before it was published. Michael Longley was there. Michael Gibbons led archaeology tour of the island for us so that we found out more about its history, which is simply great. It rained quite a lot.
You also have this idea of this community. He describes the people, and then when you get here, the biggest shock that you find is that there aren't any people. Everybody's gone. I think we have a week, a portal, as I look at it, every week in June to come here and invite people. This week is open to us, and then it's almost like the door closes and everybody else uses the island for whatever they use it for.
We didn't think she would stay long, but in fact she's stayed long enough to be an absolute part of the village now, and an essential part, and one we welcome and wholeheartedly support, because I think it's the most imaginative project.
It is, it's very informative to my work. My work isn't just about here, and it's not just about Rhinestone, but it is one aspect of it, and it's very, very important to me. And it has certainly led me in a very different path than what I might have stayed. If I'd stayed where I was, I really would never have been open to all of this. Connemara would have been a romantic place to dream of for a holiday, but now I know it, and I've been here, and it's become part of what I do.
It really surprised me, some of the directions that artists take, and as a landscape artist mostly, I suddenly find that people are much more interested in the lives of people that lived here before. One artist spent her 4 days painting the most beautiful yellow chair, but the fact that it was in this empty cottage with a little bit of the window light, and you could see the arch of the chimney, and you knew that there was nobody there, but the person in the chair was terribly present. It was very eerie, but beautiful. I was quite frightened that there was this terribly well-known RHA called Mick and then I got here, and the first thing he did was tell us all jokes and say to me, do you really want to get your feet wet when we were coming in the rib? And I said, well, not awfully. So he picked me up and threw me onto the Strand. So you can't be intimidated by somebody after that. And it was fun, and he really draws everyone together. He has a feeling for groups, and just chats away so that people relax at once.
He's been here so many times that he is almost like subconsciously guiding people who have never been here, which was really good, because he brought in an influence there on the first few days when I couldn't be around everybody every 5 minutes, and he set the pace and he set the tone.
You're trying to push it in. I can't see it.
The fact that I've been coming so long, I have a sense in my head of the geography of the island and the kind of things that happen. No, you can take those off. And I'm able to kind of help people to have ideas of where they might go, depending on the kind of thing they like to draw, because I've explored it over the years and stumped around with my stick and my easel on my back. The weather is one of the big elements on Inishlacken, and you sort of think, nothing will happen if it's bad weather, but it's on the contrary. People all trickle back from their hidden eyries around the island and start talking or working in the schoolhouse, or it used to be in the house at the end of the island there. And you find that they're making completely different work, and you find out what they've been at. We have portraitists, we have people just concentrating on a small area of rock and seaweed. Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me update.
And then you keep turning it towards, and then you keep putting this one up.
Isn't it easier?
So just keep after it.
She's been lucky in finding a place with this relationship to an uninhabited island, just half a mile away down the bay. But she's also been imaginative in sort of seeing the social possibility of such an organisation as she's built up, and it seems to be run extremely efficiently. And the little historical focus it has on the work of Gerard Dillion and the other Northern Ireland painters who used to come here makes it very interesting as well. And it would take an outsider, and perhaps someone coming from Belfast, to see that, to see the possibilities of that.
But this is a privilege to be the person who does this. This is an absolute honour and a privilege to be able to bring people here and to introduce them to this completely magical place. You have to be open to that serendipity, you have to be open to the magic of this place, you have to be open to everything about it. It's my interest in the otherness and the stuff that's the intangible, that if you open your mind to it and you keep the door open, then that's when magnificent things happen.